is how, my people? I can see you, seeing me, seeing you, man. We're welcoming you to the JC Momentum Teens Show. This is where you get everything, and I mean everything that a teen needs. I am your host, Major Minor, and on this topic, before we get even to the matters of topic, we're in the second week of August. In the second week of August, Corona is still here with us. You know, I was thinking if Corona was a song, ingekuwa ile ya Juliani. Mulinitharau, aha, aha, aha. Sasa inatuangalia, who's laughing now? Manze. And how are you, by the way? How are you coping with the COVID and with the whole situation? My heart is actually going out kwa wale wase wenye. They are looking to get into relationships. I can feel that loneliness. I can feel it. But unajua nini? I have a solution. God is love. You need God. You need God. Actually think about that. So in Luke 10:27, there's this nini yenye Christ anasema huwa inanibamba sana. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. Hamsomagi Bible? With all your strength, sindio? Yes, and you shall love yourself as you love your neighbor. You shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. Sindio? Yes. And now we are here on this very major topic of loving yourself. What does it mean? What does it mean actually to take care of the self? And that will be the whole topic of today. We are going to look at it from the point of confrontation. We're going to look at it from the point of comparison, of emotional intelligence. Some of you ninajua mnasikia hiyo jina sahi. But before we get there, I have a very awesome audience and a guest with me. I'll allow the audience to first introduce themselves, and then I will introduce the guest. We'll start from my right-hand side. Tukienda hivyo. Asanteni.
Hey, my name is Elizabeth Wanjiko, and I'm glad to be at this place, this moment.
I go by the name Darlene Wangeshi, and I'm feeling really excited to engage myself in this topic.
Yes, kama dawa ni Young Tana. Welcome.
Hi guys, I'm Mercy Protas. Welcome to this session. I hope you learn a lot.
Yes, and as we always say, save the best for what? Save the best for last, man.
Is that you?
Oh. Take you tukwa tumerihasi hiyo. So the guest here today is one of my friends actually. He's called Pastor Edgar King. He is the lead pastor at Trinity Vineyard here in Nakuru. And among the things I love about him is how he's vested into the emotional and spiritual being of someone. I'll give him this chance to introduce himself slightly, and then we'll get into the topic as there. Mtamjua tu zaidi. Welcome.
Hey, thanks. I'm Edgar King, as you said. I lead Trinity Vineyard Church in Milimani, Nakuru, and I am quite young, so passionately love working with young people. So it was good when Major Minor and Brains, somewhere there, invited me to do this, and it's exciting, yeah.
Welcome. So we'll get right into the discussion of today, eh? And we want to start on a very light note to kiasi, to Darlene and to Protas. Wacha munisaidia hapa kutranslate hii jina. Selfishness na stingy. Kwa Kiswahili ni selfishness na stingy. Hiyo tu translate. Usiende sana kukua kwa deep sana. Just say, what do you think selfishness and stingy is in Kiswahili? And also Protas, yes.
So, okay, selfishness, basically to my own opinion, selfishness is you don't do it wanting, hautaki kuifanya, as in you just do it evil. But stingy, yani, when ni mtu tu uko, yani it's in your nature, it's inside you.
When ni mchoyo.
When ni mchoyo.
Hiyo ndio unasema. Sawa. To Protas. Sema tu na Kiswahili. You don't know what you think. Ninafikiria tu kwa Kiswahili inaitwa hivi. Hivyo tu.
I think selfishness na Kiswahili ni uchoyo. Stinginess kidogo.
Uchoyo nyingi.
Hapo sijui.
All right. I want to know to Timmy and Liz, what do you think selfish? No, kujipenda ni nini? Kulingana na wewe.
The act ya kujipenda, according to my opinion, I stand corrected, let's state you want to care for yourself. Yani, for example, tutumie personal hygiene.
Alright.
Unajua huwezi kosa kujipenda na ndani wewe ni mchafu. Lazima ujipende kwanza, uoge, utumie ile, kuna ile sabuni lazima utumie, kuna ile perfume, kuna ile mafuta lazima, hadi kuna ile design lazima ung'are. Hiyo ndio selfishness yenye mimi natambua, lakini your selfishness hiyo ni yenye uko na vitu nyingi lakini huwezi saidiana.
All right, that's an interesting perspective. Liz, what do you think?
Okay, to my own opinion,
Yes.
kujipenda ni ile like unafanya vitu zi unajua zitakufurahisha we mwenyewe without kuangalia nini ule mwingine anataka, na unajua hiyo itakufurahisha. So kujipenda ni ile you're doing something yenye you're very comfortable with it, yani you enjoy doing it and you just find great fun in doing it. Hiyo ndio kujipenda. Na pia personal hygiene pia ni kujipenda kabisa.
All right. If I'm getting from the both of your statements right, kujipenda, there is actually the you perspective. Ni kitu yenye at the end of the day inanipea laha lohoni, si ndio? It gives me that kind of joy. So I'm understanding it from that perspective, but pia niko na swali still to the two of you. What do you think is the extent enye hii ni kujipenda na sasa hapa nimeanza tu kukua mchoyo?
Okay, ikifika past that line ya kukua that selfish, it's where imefika like you're only thinking about yourself, you don't care what others will see. Like ni wewe tu unajifikiria, you want to do things zenye zinakufurahisha kabisa without thinking this other person ako affected aje.
Yeah, right, that's a very interesting perspective. Over to you.
Tutumie tu example tu ile Jesus feeding the 5,000, ndio?
Yes.
Presume I'm the boy, sijakula. So kama selfishness yangu haingefanya watu wakule, obvious hizo mkate na samaki siningekula na nishibe na nibakishe. But unaona hiyo umetoa hiyo selfishness ukapeana juu obvious chakula yako ni nyingi. So selfishness yako ni ile kwanza unajipenda alafu uta consider wengine, alafu selfishness ni ile yenye au consider wengine. Obvious utashiba lakini au consider wale wengine.
So if paka hapo selfishness ni kitu ni yangu lakini si consider wengine. Self love ni kitu ni yangu, ninafikiria hawa wengine na ninajaribu kuona venye hii kitu inaweza nisaidia mimi na hawa wengine.
Yes.
That is what you're saying.
Yes.
Interesting. Darlene, wewe unafikiria ni wapi tutachora ile line ya kujipenda na hii sasa imeanza kukua selfish?
Basically, explain tu venye au wengine wame explain. Kujipenda as in you prioritize yourself first. Wewe ndo kila kitu, if in case kuna kitu you put yourself first. But in terms of ukitaka kujua ume cross boundary, in terms of ukianza kwa chakula, wewe ndo mama lakini wewe ndo uneka kwanza, unajaza chakula, that is actually selfishness. Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm loving how you're interacting with this, and it's bringing me to something. Kwa hizi vitu zote zenye tunasema, ikitu ni yangu, but I'm prioritizing myself, and again, still thinking of others, then I'm not thinking of others. Kuna hiyo kitu. Lazima kuna hiyo kitu yenye tuna consider. Be it time, be it money, there's that thing that is making you actually have that thought, sindio? So over to Pastor Edgar and then to Protas. Is there something that you consider, this is specifically my thing? All right. This is specifically my thing. Yes, wewe ni baba yangu, wewe ni mama yangu, wewe ni bro, lakini hii kitu ni yangu. Unaona? Like it can't be perfume. Hii perfume nayo hatuwezi. Inaweza kuwa ni nguo, drip ni yangu peke yangu. Hapa no, we not sharing this. Unaona? Is there something that you consider specifically yours, and why? Why do you have that?
That's actually interesting.
Yes.
I have a very weird perspective on that. I actually think there's very little that is ours. Now, again, it's also very cultural. Kenya, Africa, we're very communal. Ini bike yetu. Mejamaina linunuliwa lakini ni yetu. But in other cultures this is mine, this is my space. Hawezi kuja this close.
That's true.
So it varies from culture to culture, but if you ask me, in the journey of being with Jesus, I think you get to a place where there's actually very little that is our own. Even our own life, tunafika pali, it's like, oh, my life is not my own. My life belongs to Jesus. And therefore, at whatever time it is demanded of me, and I'm not talking about in the sense of death, like at whatever time I'm called out to pour my life, I do that. I give away. I have, you would think, oh, you have money, unafanya kazi, and it's easy to go, oh, this is my money. Well, if you look at the journey God is inviting us to, it's no. I've given you, of course, for provision for yourself to begin with, but it's for God. We are, of everything we have, we are just stewards. Yeah.
Thank you.
Out.
Umeingia deep one.
Pole.
That is nice. Protas umeanza kuchange jibu. Umeanza kufikiria ile nilikuwa niseme man, aingiani na hii. But again, it's a free world. Sema tu chenye ulikuwa useme.
I actually agree with Pastor Edgar that we are stewards.
This is what I was saying.
No, I could see Protas was like.
Anyway, proceed.
We are stewards of what we've been given by God.
Yes.
But from a worldly view, a worldly view of someone who's of the world, allow me to use that term. Of course, kuna hiyo kitu, let me use perfume. Kuna hiyo kitu like, awezi acha mtu mwingine aglow nayo, you know? Yeah, I think it's there that for the worldly view. Yes. But so, if you don't have that understanding, which Pastor Edgar has said, it's going to be a bit different.
All right.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, even as a believer, there are things you hold on to yourself. It's just, I guess everyone's saying there's a certain line. We hold on to things, but don't let them hold on to us. So if it's time to go, it goes. So for me, my playlist, when Brains comes to visit, the one thing they know is don't touch my playlist. If I'm playing music, and so there's those things that are like, oh no, this is mine, And
Asante. I'm looking for that. I am looking for that actually. Timi, uko nayo?
Yes.
Uko na nini?
Mimi artwork yangu ni yangu.
Yes.
Na si yako. So ukiguzaguza
tunakosana.
That is me in the spirit with the drawings. Yes. All
right. Darling, wacha tu niulize. Umesikia responses za hao, and also probably you have something of your own. Why do you think we have these things in it? Specifically for Pastor Edgar ni your playlist, Masi ni perfume, Timi amesema ni artwork. Why do you think we have that thing? Why? Ukiulizwa tu wewe ungesema mbona lazima nikuwe na ile kitu yenye ni yangu?
Mi nafikiria juu kuna vile uko connected na hiyo kitu, like when you're feeling low, you just want that thing. When you're so hyper, you just want that thing. So basically, ni kama spiritual connection nayo. So you don't want anyone to touch because ni kama meguza roho.
All right. Liz, naona umeningojea patiently. I am here now, So, from what they have said, kuna hizo vitu zenye ni personally and they speak to me differently, si ndio? So ukikuja kuguza hii kitu inaweza leta makasiriko, si ndio? Unakubali, si ndio? So wewe kama Liz, ushajipata kwa hiyo situation yenye hii ni kama mimi nishaipata bro amevaa ile clad yenye mimi napenda. Hiyo kitu ilinigonga off balance. So ushaikuwa kwa hiyo situation yenye umecheki, hii ni kitu yangu, this is what I hold dearly. And wewe kukua nayo inanikwaza. How was that situation for you? If you've ever been in such a situation.
Siwezi kukumbuka. Like it was so horrible. Personally,
yes.
It was like drama. I do drama and I was given the main character.
What?
So nilikuwa nimemiss just one day.
Siku moja?
One day, just like this, one day.
Mparara.
So nimefika the next day and then napata kuna mtu amereplacewa. Oh my God. Like I had to go down on my knees making a certain prayer yenye I'm sure ilifika. Yes, I know ilifika. Nikasema Mungu, you know this is my part. Na sitaki mtu mwingine achukue. Na ilirudishwa back kwangu. So inakuanga vibaya tena sana. Like sema kama Timi upate ameng'ang'ana kuchora akiwa very ako hyper ama ako low. Alafu mtu mwingine akuja tu apitanishe tu na hizo vitu.
Mpaka na kufeel niko hapa hata nasikia songe hivi kidogo. Inaweza kuwa naleta trauma. But yes, so again I am getting how these things when ni personal kwetu zinaweza invoke other emotions in us. Unajua? And again in as much as hizo emotions zimekuwa invoked, we still have to take care of ourselves in a manner that does not affect the other person. Si ndio? Hii kitu ni yangu umevaa. Lakini inner peace tunaitafuta, si ndio? So let me ask to Darlene and also to Timi. Ushaijipata kwa hiyo situation, mse amekukwaza. To be totally honest, amenikwaza, hapa nayo ni ukweli, hii umenikwaza. Lakini ninafikiria venye nitakwambia naona, utanibeba aje. Ai. Ama pengine wewe mwenye umenikwaza, wewe ndio msee unalipaga form, wewe ndio nini. So nikikwambia kuna vitu zinaweza ni slash, si ndio? So ukiwa kwa hiyo situation, have you ever found yourself in such a situation yenye umesema wacha tu, I hope tu ata change na ninaomba a change. Na ukiwa kwa hiyo situation, unafikiria huwa inatuumiza aje sisi kukaa na hiyo kuumia? Unajua uongei leo, kama hujaweza kuongea leo hautaongea kesho kutwa, mwaka mzima inaendelea tu ukicompile. So ushaijipata kwa hiyo situation?
Siwezi taka mtu hiyo situation. As in, you feel all your emotions are there. Unasikia umekasirika, unasikia kulia, unasikia kupigana. But personally what I do is I just relax. Kwa si react your time. As in, I just take time, nijicompose. As in, unatafuta tu vitu tu kufanya. Distractively, hadi naweza chukua kucha nicheze nazo. You just distract yourself to avoid that anger rushing out to the person, because that person also has a heart. Na kenye utamwambia probably ita stick kwa akili yake, so you don't want to say things out of
anger.
Yeah.
For me naweza sema aje, first of all umesema ya msi ameshika kitu yako na yeye anakupelekaga form. Sasa kuna mimi nasemaga nini, ukiweka hiyo kitu ndani ati uwezi mrekebisha, unajua nini itakufanyikia? Utapata stress. Ukipata stress utakuwa una mrank venye ulikuwa na mrank baadaye ati huyu ni msewa mine, lakini hiyo aliguza hiyo kitu cha tu ni maintain. Hiyo stress itakuja tu ikubebe tu, alafu kesho yake unajua utafanya aje? Utamspitia words zenye hana pesa ya kukupea form. Hata ni form zako zilikuwa tu zinaniweka, acha nikwambie ukweli. Unampasha hapo. The other thing is imepotea.
Inaeleweka. Protas, still on the same discussion. Wewe una feel aje? Ukiwa kwa hiyo situation yenye. Kwanza ushaijipata kwa hiyo situation yenye msee amekukwaza, this is my guy. Madam unakuaga na you guy my guy. Unakuaga? Forgive my nini. This tumekuja kusoma hapa. It's for the teens and it's for us older teens. Again. So back to you. So this is your you. Nashindwa kusema you guy my guy, you lady my lady, whatever it is, but that one and when you hold that person unamrank na amekukwaza, how do you handle that?
First of all, hiyo kitu itashinda imekusumbua vile tu Timi alisema. To the next day you'll meet the guy. Your relation will not be the same.
Yes.
It's not going to be normal. There's something that's going to be disturbing, a bit disturbing. For me, I'll be honest. I usually, if it's that moment, I just breathe in and breathe out. But I will stay with it for a bit, for a couple of time. All and then when I decide it's now time to cool off, I've thought over it, I will come. I tell him and say, there's this point and this point you didn't go. How kuenda poa, you know. Yeah.
Aha. Thank you. So over to Liz and then Pastor Edgar. Hii whole issue ya kuconfront mse ina evoke different emotions. There is, I want to tell you, I am afraid if I tell you I might lose this thing. but again if I don't tell you hii kitu itaendelea na staki iendelee, so uko tu hapo. So I'm just asking from you, how do you think we can call out our friend ama tell someone hii kitu ulifanya imeniumiza na singependa iendelee, without feeling guilt and also from a point of love. Tena isikuwe tu nikaa na kushutumu tu, nimekukujia hata nimeshindwa venye nini, tuko live. Yes.
To confront baadaye.
Tutaonana nyuma ya. All right, over to you.
Okay. Hii kuweka kitu mtu akishakukwaza maani kwangi mzuri. Juu na accumulate ndani yako sana. And at the same time unakangi hivi unafikiria nikishamwambia ataibebaje. So inakuanga sometimes inakuanga ngumu, but okay, to mimi naonanga the best solution ni amenimonda hapo vo mwambie, hey bro, kai umenimonda na sipo sija feel vizuri.
Yes.
So ni ya decide kama atakuambia pole ama atakuambia, but ushaitoa ndani yako ushamwambia. So akikaa ndio hapo kidogo anaweza beba tu kidogo, but akikuja kuendelea ata realize yes nilimonda and I was supposed to say sorry, and the way he told me ama she told me aliniambia tu hapo, so akubeba. And then ukishamwambia mnaendelea na vitu zeni kama ni normal, si ati uone umenimonda ni nini wewe kusumbua vitu kama hizo. So unamwambia tu in a polite way ndio asifeel asibebe ndani yake na hata usikumibeba.
So umenimonda. Asante. Pastor Edgar, what do you think of the same?
I think that's a very good conversation. In reality, it's often hard to just confront mtu ambaye amekukosea any other person, any other day. It's even harder when it's mtu mwenye anakuchoreaga form or mzazi. Well, hopefully mzazi pia ndio akuchorea form. Or later on your boss or that kind of thing. And and even to this day, like I don't think it gets any easier. I think it's a journey lazima tujicommit to kwamba every time I need to do this, I will do this in a way that it will honor that person and honor God. Hakuna siku tutafika pali sasa nimejua kuconfront mse. You'll read 1,000 books and every time you're in that space it is still kewaru, you know, that kitu imekalia. Yeah. And so I've often said there's different ways of confronting or leading. So kuna watu mnatoshana nao au watishi. Ukiwaambia umenikosea wanaweza sema sawa history yetu imeisha. Kuna watu wako juu yako and those ones work different. Na kuna wenye wako chini yako quote unquote. Au unawaambia sikiza kaa hapa chini tuongee saa hizi. You've done this. Juana, you know, you hold something over them. So you can do that. That's easy. The younger kids, unaambia kuja we need to talk, right? When wako level yako na ni watu wenye hawashtui, you need to learn how to suggest. You know, by the way, talk suggestively. Na by the way, tunaweza ongea kuhusu juu au watishi na wenye wako juu yako, hapo sasa ndio. Yeah, hapo ni ngori kwa sababu you have to come out very respectful. You have to do it in a way that ndio wana feel they're leading through. If they're mature enough watakupea opportunity ya kulead pia, si ndio? So kani mzazi wako alafu unajifanya ndio umepiganisha mguu hapo utaona shida. But if you do it in a way that ana feel yeye ndio amekupa space ya kuongea. Yet I totally agree with kila msana. Actually right now I need to confront a very close friend, you know, and it's been eating me up because it never stops being emotional, you know. And I totally agree with all of them. Sitting with it is terrible for your own sake and for that other person's sake. How you do it matters. Yet, kuna possibility this person doesn't want a conversation. And I think, again, I hope itakuwa too soon, but I think I've been in a situation where a friend of mine just said, listen, at this point, you and God sort it out. because that other person won't listen to me. I can't keep doing each day, nimefura hivi. So it's like, okay, God and I have to sort this out. So sometimes there isn't that opportunity. Either way, it has to be sorted out.
All right. Nikiangalia timu naona anakaa ni kama I was watching you. You have something to say.
Najua media kwa life. Sana sana najua nilifunzwa na model fulani Chagabu Big House pale. Alifunzaga aje there are two ways of approaching someone mwenye amekukosea. First of all, lazima ukue calm, approach kumrespect. Unajua ujui nini huyu jamaa konayo anakufanyia hivyo, ujui kama amebeba mzigo yote akakukanyanga, alafu ukuje umemrukia ati buda juu umenikanyangia nini. Yeye na hiyo stress yako atakufanya nini? Nakupiga tu kibare. Na cheki. Yenyewe kila mtu anakuwa na vitu zenye huwa anapitia. So ukimapproach in a calm with and a respectful way juu ukimwambia umemkosea unajua atafanya nini? Ushaambiwa umenikanyanga, unajua unaenda unakaa chini yenyewe ule jamaa ndio nilimkanyaga na hiyo si fiti. Hata medi kwa kenye ulimchapia. So akimedi atakupea respect na atakupea boundaries. Jamaa namrespect hivi juu alinifanyia hivi na nilimapproach hivi. Hivyo.
And maybe just something helpful. Yes. I think kitu nimejifunza na najifunza kila siku is to not make assumptions. So one thing that's fair to understand is everybody gets a chance to offend the other. Yes. So leo ni mimi nimekuoffend, kesho ni tani yako utani offend. And there's so many things happening in my life, so many things happening in yours. Yes. Some are good, some, you know. So where's the jua where I was coming from? Or nimekukanyanga hata sikuwa naona, pengine mguu yako refu kidogo. You know, who knows what's happening, right? So I have learned and I'm learning to always what I call credit the other person's account. Yes. Assume good things about them. Leo amenikanyanga juu yako anaona. When you approach people assuming the best about them, before you, don't judge. Tunaendaga, hiki kimtu. No, assume the best about them. Yes. And as you approach them. And learn to ask the question, why? So I noticed, hii na hii ilifanyika. Mbona. Don't, because you have no idea. Then two, never label. Tunaendaga na hii ujinga yako ya, or, na wewe ni mchoyo, you know. Yes. You don't know. Because and the moment I label you as mchoyo, I'm no longer dealing with you, I'm dealing with mchoyo. But if I go major minor, nilikuomba do, unajua nilikuwa vibaya. Kwa nini ukunipea? See, I'm not labeling you and I'm not assuming au nisikili squeeze, you know.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I have a question. Unaona kuna hiyo place yenye tunafanya makosa. Tunakosewa na watu, si ndio? Lakini pia sisi wenyewe huwa tunajikosea. How do you go about forgiving yourself? But before we answer that, we'll coming right back after the break to deal with that. Have this moment, get there. This what we do is it's called not just for the gram. Check it out. You better want to watch this.
Hi guys, I'm Keith na tuko hapa Life Celebration Center Church na I use tricks to explain about the things that I go through, hoping that tutaconnect. So, teen life ni tough because hapa ndo penye unaumia emotionally, but society teaches you to keep quiet. Not in the sense that watakuja kukukemea wakati umeamua ku open up, but in the sense that everyone acts as if everything is okay. And so I'm going to give you a brief review of my daily teen challenges. Now at the end, uta realize that I make bad choices. But don't be too quick to judge me because we undergo through the same issues, lakini you decide not to speak up. See, first of all, I was introduced to social media where I noticed no one cared about the real me. To them, if I wasn't a socialite, I wasn't worth their time. Now back then, I used to overstress myself asking if I was a likable person or someone that no one really liked. Na so ikabidi niende nijiprove. And I went to this girl I had a crush on. Now, first of all, she was very beautiful girl. Hoping that she will realize that I'm even there. Na hapa ndo penye nilikuwa na response to every question she might ask until akanigonga na something I did not expect. So for her, anatafuta jinsi ya flow with the conversation, but for mimi, nilipush harder to the way that I planned, and at the end realized that she's getting bored of me and she's looking for a way out of the conversation with short, simple answers like, okay. Now here, I'm left with my dream, where I want to be popular and I want to be happy. Lakini ni tough. Ni tough choosing between these friends who increase my fame day in and day out. Lakini every time I walk in a room and find them, I want to walk out at the same moment. Ama these friends who I really enjoy spending time with, but aren't regarded that highly in the society. Na hapa ndo the breaking point. Lakini mimi niliamua kuendelea kujidanganya. Nilianza compare my social status to people who I considered lower than me. Like mimi najulikana kuliko Brayo, najulikana kuliko Kevo, najulikana kuliko Masi. Hawa watu wanakuwaga antisocial sana. Lakini truth be told, we weren't that close enough to each other, na kenye we had was a greeting relationship. Penye baada ya salamu hatuna story. Now they allowed me to see freely the path that they showcase to strangers. So mimi nilikuwa comfortable living a scripted life. But being wise ni accepting the mistakes you've made in your past and making peace with your life. Being wise ni reaching out to someone who you can talk to about your issues. Na ukisikia hujafika at that stage, unaweza iandika on a book, it also helps. Being wise ni making the necessary character changes in your life, na making the necessary apologies to people you've wronged in your life. Na trust me, once you do all this, utakuwa able to imagine the other side better than your old self. Okay, so I use tricks to explain not what majorly nasikiaga watu wakiundergo, but natumiaga my tricks to explain the issues that I go through. Kwa sababu I believe the same issues that I go through ni the same issues that other people go through. Na natafuta jinsi ya kuexpress these issues kwa sababu at times zinakosaga maneno za kuexpressiwa, na bado natafuta jinsi ya kuwapatiwa solutions na tips to go through these issues.
And we are back, man. Nimecheck your stuff. Like, whoa, mind blowing, eh? Wale majama wangu wa now you see me, now you don't. Wananiona? Wanioni si ndio? Now you don't, eh? Man, this has been it. This has been great. For those of you that are joining us right now, you've just missed a whole big chunk of this. You can catch it up after this. For those of us that have been loyal and you've been following us mpaka saa hii manze, asante sana. Kumbuka click your like button, comment, by the engage us. What do you think of this conversation? What do you think about this conversation and the self-love? Yes, and I hope you're enjoying this. Wale wengine pia, if you go and check our previous episodes, we've done other DIYs, other activities. You can go do them and then tag us at unaona hizi social media handles unaona hapa chini. Tag us there, we shall share them on our page. And most importantly, kumbuka keep it hashtag, not just for the gram. Not just for the gram. We do this for Christ, for ourselves, for everyone, not just for the gram. And back to our conversation. Unaona kama hiyo trick imefanywa hapo. Kuna wakati wengine wase wanakufanyia tricks na wakati wengine ni wewe unajitrick. So, how do you deal with yourself? Wewe unajisamehe when you've done wrong to yourself? And this I will ask Protas and Liz to give us their sentiments on the above.
I think, thank you for that question, first of all. Do I forgive myself? Wow. That will come after a lot of interpersonal communication. Like, nimejiambia, relax, everything is fine, it's not going to happen. Yes, so I think for personally, it needs a lot of interpersonal communication with yourself so that you can become okay with it. But the guilt, to be honest, tapo kidogo, it's bad. Yeah.
Something else. Okay, to you, Liz.
Okay, I totally agree with Mercy. Lazima ujiteka moshemanio kidogo tu. Jiulize.
Yes.
Ndio nimefanya makosa. Ndio sijafanya hivi. Nikijisamehea, okay, it's a must tujisamehee, lazima tujisamehee juu unajipenda, ni lazima. So unakaa hivi chini unaanza kujiambia, yes, nahitaji kujisamehea. Yes, nikijisamehea this and this is what will happen. Yes, na najua nikijisamehea nitajipata pia mimi niko na urahisi ya kusamehea wengine. Na usipojisamehea itakuwa ngumu sana kusamehea mwingine.
Thank you, thank you. I hope kama una watch you're taking interpersonal communication, kiamshemanio, write down these things. These things will help you, by the way. And now over to you, Pastor Edgar. I would like you to touch on your point here, forgiving ourselves. And also now, in this whole issue of selfishness and self-love, how do we know that this boundary ni, this is actually me being selfish?
Yeah.
And hii ingine, it's not, the word I'm looking for is not privilege.
Yeah.
It is, hii ingine ni boundary yangu.
Yeah.
Using
Yeah.
the boundaries,
Yeah.
yes, thank you.
Let me start with the selfishness thing and where we cross the line. I think just, right off the bat to Seme, it's not wrong to have things. God is not against that at all. It's not wrong to have fun. Have fun, have your own things. Save kidogo, buy your own stuff. It's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having your personal time. Nothing wrong with me having my playlist and people are not supposed to mess with, and so that's me appreciating myself and loving myself, and that's important because if I can't do that, I'll end up being mean to people, then it's all this negativity. So that's very important. I take Mondays off. Ato ufanye nini sikuji, that's very important. Where it crosses the line is when I'm only doing it for me. When kila kitu yenye kwa akili yangu tu ni mimi. Even to an extent that if it's hurting you, I don't care, And that's a problem. So it's this tension, because dunia ni rahisi, watu wanatakaga, is it A or is it B? Maybe it's actually A and B. It's let me have my things, and at the same time, let me be aware that they're not mine. So whether, if Major needed me on Monday, this is important. I can't go, Major, hata ukikufa hiyo shida yako mimi na rest. I start looking at my time as a stewardship from God. So it's hold that tension and be very careful to know when do I keep this to myself, when do I release it. And so Paul kwa Biblia anafunza kitu kama have the same mindset Jesus had. Kwa sababu Jesus knew he was God, he had all these things, but he did not hold on to them. So have all those things, just don't hold on to them. And so that leads us right into the conversation of how do you forgive yourself. And, and I don't want to assume that younger people don't have and I started with I'm young, I left the next statement, nikasema, mimi mzee. It's quite confusing. But I don't want to assume that if you're a teenager, you don't have real issues. There are very real issues throughout life. Sometimes I think as we grow older, we start facing very, very real issues, which some of you are going to face, going into university, whatever. And we often have lines to mesema, I will never cross this. That's when it's harder to forgive yourself. Nikilala saa 7 na nimesema mimi ni wa kulala saa 4, nitaamka nijiforgive tu. Alafu niseme hata kesho nitamaliza hii series, But there are certain lines I'm like, I'm never crossing this line, and when you cross them, it's like, oh my word, I can't forgive myself. And one of the things I've found very useful, and this is where community comes in. I often teach at the church, kuna pali Yesu anasema, if you don't forgive those who, I give you power to go and forgive sins. There's so much power in mtu kuja kuambie umesamehewa. And we don't do that a lot. Mtu akikwambia akipole unasema ni sawa. No, it actually means a lot to repeat the words I have forgiven you, because we finally release them. And so we also play a part in helping people forgive themselves. Because there is not the easy, but there is the one enye ni rahisi tu nijiite mkutano, nijiambie listen, we all mess up and I'll mess up again. I need to get going. But there are places people get to that it's so hard, and it takes a whole community to love them and say, you are forgiven. Well, if it's us amekosea, I forgive you. If it's something they've done that is a no sin, or amefukuzwa at home, looking at them and saying, you are forgiven, begins that journey of releasing them and setting them free.
Thank you very much for that. And also now, as like a wrap up of all this that we've been talking about, we've spoken about there's the confrontation bit, and there's also the selfishness. Now, from your point, like from a pastoral point of view, spiritual, in mixing it with the worldly perspective, what do you think of that?
So I guess with what I've just said, I'll go into this. I am so convinced that it's given that kuishi pamoja mtakoseana.
Yes.
I strongly believe that the journey of our discipleship, or simply put, following Jesus, includes correcting each other. So I've often said, if you're not being corrected, if you're not using the opportunity of correcting the other person, you're missing a very important part of discipleship. Then why would Jesus teach, mtu akikukosea msamehe this? Because it's supposed to be part of our spiritual journey. So take the opportunity, as I said earlier, be very gracious to each other. Don't label this person. Don't assume huyu ni kazini ya shetani tu hapa, huyu alifanya. Be very gracious. Assume the best. Credit their account. Knowing too well, kesho, asubuhi, ni wewe unahitaji the same kind of grace. But don't miss out that opportunity for Jesus to work in your heart by chickening out of confrontation. Because we grow. When you tell me this hurts you, then I know, because I love this person, if we're going to keep growing together, I will find a way to. Or sometimes we realize, ilikuwa kitu kidogo. Sometimes we end up laughing about it, inakuwa story ya 5 years later, right? So don't miss out on the very important opportunities ya kuwa corrected na correct the other person. And even if you do it wrong, well, there's a next time, because I promise you atakukosea tena, you know?
All right. From the points that you've raised, it brings us to a point here, emotional intelligence, how to handle our emotional being. And right now, I think I'm getting communication from my director. We have, I'm so sorry, guys, we have to put a pause at this point. Manzej, we are time, man. We have to put a pause to this. So I have been your host, Major Minor. Remember, this is the JC Momentum Teens Show. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Enda ashia beshte yako hotspot, muite, subscribe, yani. Ukifika mahali ya wifi, kumbuka tu JC Momentum Teens Show. Subscribe, comment, by the way, pia. Now let us know how are you feeling this conversation. And also, very, very important, if you might feel like you want to talk to someone or have just that casual chat, kuna namba tu inacheza hapa. Director simtakikisha inacheza hapa. Yes, you can send a message, we will get back to you. You can call, we will get back to you. Na nasikia ka director anasema hata ukituma please call me, we will still get back to you. We are here for you. Thank you, man. Nawapenda. Thank you for being loyal. It's been me, Major Minor, together with this lovely audience. And from us to you, see you next time, same place, different clothes. Or same clothes. Thank you.